Hello and welcome everybody to season number 2 of Otter Talk. We're back underway. Christoph Hansen has joined the team, and we have brought on Coach Nick Davis to talk about the upcoming football season.
What's up, Braves Nation? Christopher Hansen here, and it's time to kick off with Christoph here in Otter Talk. Ottawa University football finished 5-6 overall last year, placing 7th in the KCAC. The Braves come into this season ranked 6th in the KCAC preseason poll, as they will host number 8 in the country, Southwestern University, Friday, September 3rd. So make sure to come out and see your Ottawa University Braves take the field. In the men's soccer world, the Ottawa Braves took the pitch in their very first game of the season, and also the first game with head coach James Cottage at the helm. They traveled to the number 8 ranked Mid-America Nazarene University Pioneers and fell 6-2. Though that may seem a bit disheartening on paper, the first 2 goals that the Pioneers scored were both due to some unfortunate penalty kicks. Outside of that, Ottawa made some great adjustments at the half as they knocked in 2 goals, both by sophomore from Budapest, Hungary, Ben Smolner. Molnar led the Braves in goals last year and has already kicked this season off on fire. Outside of Molnar's magnificence, Ottawa's defense shored up in the second half, allowing 2 fewer goals. Ultimately, Ottawa is on to the next game as they host Oklahoma Panhandle University this Saturday at 5 p.m. Go and support the Braves as they come out fired up and ready to go.
Women's volleyball has come in as the favorite once again, being chosen to take the KCAC title for the 3rd time in a row, finishing the 2021 season on top. The Braves have lost just 3 games in the KCAC in the last 2 years and will look to keep their foot firmly on the gas in this upcoming season. Along with the conference recognition, Ottawa has been picked 25th in the country in the preseason polls. The team accolades have brought them individual success as well, as Caitlin Holler and Caitlin Elston have been named to the KCAC preseason team. Holler collected a first-team All-KCAC honors last year, and Elston brought home a second-team selection. Women's soccer come into the 2022 season ranked 6th in the coaches poll after finishing 7th in the KCAC with a 6-11-2 record overall and a 5-6-1 record in the KCAC. Senior defender Raina Werner was selected to the KCAC preseason women's soccer team as she looks for some more magic heading into the season. Werner was tied for second on the team in goals last year with 3, including 2 in game-winning fashion. The Braves will look to call on Werner and 18 other returners to exceed expectation on the season. I'm joined with a special guest, Coach Nick Davis. Coach, welcome on Otter Talk.
Thanks for having me, and let's Otter on.
Before we get into things, I know that you were a GA here 2 years ago. What kind of brought you back to Ottawa?
I was a graduate assistant actually in 2010 and 11, and then I went on to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology for the last 10 years. Coach Kessinger hired me. It was my first job. I was this 22-year-old kid from Illinois that had never been out in Kansas, and he brought me into the family. And I was here for my 2 years and got my master's degree here in education curriculum. And then I was able to go to an engineering school, Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, for 10 years. And Coach Kessinger, it's one of those things when he called you, you got to answer the phone call. And their defensive coordinator had left last year, and I was able to answer the call. And then the big recruiting pitch was actually to my wife. She's from the Cincinnati area, and I had to convince her. She's deathly afraid of tornadoes, so I had to convince her that there's no tornadoes in Kansas. Don't watch The Wizard of Oz, and that she wanted to live in kind of a bigger area, and she didn't necessarily realize Ottawa was as close to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So once I convinced her, we were able to come back, and she gave us the big okay, and I got back here last year as the defensive coordinator, and then obviously Coach Kessinger retired, and I was fortunate enough from our administration and my athletic director, Araby Connor, and President Doc Reg, to get the job. So it's been a blast ever since.
Speaking of taking over for Kessinger, I know that's an enormous shoes to fill, the second most winning coach in Ottawa program history. What's the Davis era going to look like?
You know, what Coach Kessinger did an amazing job over his 18 years is the family atmosphere, not only within our football program, but I think that's grown on campus too over those 18 years. And there's several other coaches that have been here kind of in that era. I think there's something special when you step on campus with that family atmosphere. Things we want to build on in the Coach Davis era, I guess, is continuing to have strong accountability for our players, and then a positive mindset that is unbelievable, that if Kansas Wesleyan scores with 6 seconds left in the game, we know the game's not over. We have 6 seconds like Patrick Mahomes last year against the Bills to go down there and score and give ourselves a chance, that our kids believe. And I think the whole process of the family accountability and mindset is not only great for football, it's great for when they graduate from here and they move on to the rest of their lives.
Well, of course. And you talk about being a GA. You guys won the KCAC championship in 2011. How big is that experience coming back to kind of bring that sort of winning mentality into the program?
No, I think that's huge because I've seen what that looked like and what our players' mindsets were and how the talent level was, and I think we're close to that. We just needed to mold some things, and it is big to know it's been done here, right? And I've been a part of that, so how can now me being the leader lead us into more success like those days, And heck, we went on a 6-year run during that era where we went to the playoffs 6 straight years and won 4 conference championships. So I know it can be done. I've seen it. I recruited players on those teams. I was only here for one of those championships, but they won 2 more championships with recruits after I left. So I think that is big, knowing that it can be done here and the players believing that, hey, coach was here when this.
Looking on to this upcoming season, Ottawa chosen 6th in the preseason polls. You think that's an accurate representation of where the team's going to be, or you think it's going to be more of a chip on the shoulder of some of these guys?
Yeah, the preseason polls all great for the media people like you guys. All the coaches always do is vote with the reverse order, or the order that the last year finished, because no coach wants a target on their back. So it's really easy to say, "Oh, you won the championship. Let's all vote for them." So no one knows what the roster looks like. It's not like we were exchanging film of spring football. So there's been lots of cases in this conference that Sterling, for example, they were 0-10 during the COVID time. And then they go 6-5 last year, and so you can't really necessarily work off of last year. Maybe who graduated and who's back and those things, but the coaches really just they were first, they were second. Oh, they beat us. Oh, we beat them, and then you get the poll. So we don't take too much in stock in it in terms of, hey, but it is a good motivation of, hey, everyone in the country, and Kansas thinks you guys are the 6th best team in our conference. So that is a good chip on the shoulder.
A little background on that. Yeah, I never really knew what went on behind the scenes in coaches' polls. It's kind of interesting to see. Yeah, you don't want to target behind your back. Lastly, for your style of coaching, it's been heavily defense. Do you think that's going to carry over into your head coach?
Yeah, so I actually switched sides into offense. When I left here, I was a defensive graduate assistant. I went to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, and I actually interviewed for a defensive job, and I was one of the 2 finalists, and their running backs coach left at the same time. So they said, hey, how would you like to coach running backs? And I said, I don't know anything about running backs. And I looked up on the roster, and the running back was an All-American. I said, I don't think I can mess this guy up. So my first 3 years were on offense, which I learned a ton about football. Actually, I was a defensive lineman when I played, but when I was a GA here, they made me coach linebackers and defensive backs. So I had a full aspect of defense, and then coaching the running backs, you kind of understand what the offensive line's doing. You understand, obviously, what the quarterback's doing from the mesh and the reads. And, I got to learn wide receiver play. So spent 3 years there. Our defensive coordinator left, and our head coach had great faith in me to promote me into a great role as our defensive coordinator. Obviously, I was our defensive coordinator last year. And then we brought in Dante Barty, who's doing a heck of a job, and we actually lost Julian Mendoza, who was an alum. His wife became the head softball coach down at UTPB down there in Texas at Division II softball school. So Julian, I was like, you got to go down there, and he ended up getting a great high school job, and I'm so happy for them that they're able to, both be coaches and be down in Permian together. And so we lost our offensive coordinator. Luckily, we had Coach Hennis on our board, on our roster, our staff already. He was our co-offensive coordinator. So promoted him, and it was in a situation that we felt that for our staffing, it was best for me to go on the offensive side. So I'm coaching running backs this season. Really, I'm just the chief energy officer to make sure our culture of our program's working, and Coach Hennis and Coach Barty have kind of full reign over offense and defensive decisions. I guess on fourth down it'll be my decision whether we go for it or not. But kind of excited because the game of football is so offensive-minded in terms of decisions that the head coach, I feel like you should be on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah.
So when you say go for it on 4th and 1 and you're a defensive coach and you have no idea what plays are going to be called and then you get mad, at least I'm going to know those plays going in of when I say, hey, Coach Hennis, let's go for it, or let's kick a field goal, or, those sort of things. I'm more involved in those decisions and more educated myself of let's make the best possible decision, not, oh, I think we should go for it. And then Coach Hennis is like, I didn't have a really good play here, and that's why we didn't get the first down, things like that.
Well, we thank you for coming on. Congratulations on the hire, and good luck going forward. Taking on
Southwestern here. We got Benedictine on Monday in a JV game. We call it Gold Squad. That's our Gold Squad. Those dudes, no one in our program ever get anything gold. You earn it. So those guys earn the gold jerseys, and they're going to go up to Benedictine and play them on Monday, and then we'll open up the season on Friday at Southwestern here in Ottawa at 6 p.m.
Everybody make sure you come out. This has been Coach Davis.
Thanks for having me. Remember, Otter on.
That's all for episode number 1 of season 2 as we look to kick things off here for Otter Talk. Blake Griffin, Christoph Hansen on the mic so far. We'll look to keep things rolling. Stay tuned for more Otter news.